hand, and we're going to be talking about matters that concern us in our societies. Every Friday, just like you know, we always have someone from the police forces, and yeah, today it is a pleasure. Once again, it has been a while when my brother has not been here, but I'm grateful that today Assistant Superintendent of Police Archilles Atwebembere is here and is going to be speaking to us, who is the CLO or Community Liaison Officer for Chira Police Division. It's a pleasure to have you once again, Afande.
Nice meeting you once again.
Nice meeting you.
Indeed, it has been long coming back here, but with God's grace, I'm back now.
Wow, it's a pleasure. So today we are going to be talking about domestic violence, mob justice, but also we shall look at this special day as Muslims gather together to celebrate what precautions are there, how should they celebrate, and all that in our discussion today. But first and foremost, I want to congratulate you from Namugongo, because met you around Namugongo. Very, very busy. I understand that is Chira as well. You are very busy.
Namugongo is taken by Chira Division, but still it is manned by all security agencies. It's not only Chira Division which mans Namugongo. And I think we man like 1% out of Namugongo. Other security agencies help us a lot. As Chira Division, because you find the whole of Kampala Metropolitan, even outside Kampala Metropolitan, they come in together and they make sure we make it a success. And I think this year it has been a very big success. We have not received any incidents, not even an accident which is fatal. I have not heard of an accident which has come, which was a fatal accident today. And like the previous days, where would hear pilgrimage has been knocked while walking. This time around, everything was organized in a very good way.
Okay. Wow, that's very interesting, and we really appreciate. So, talking about domestic violence in our country, we understand. So, there are quite a number of people who still do face domestic violence, and this time around, the narrative has even shifted to the men. Who are also being assaulted in their homes and all that. And we have seen these reports come out here and there. So what is the current state of domestic violence in our nation, Uganda?
Maybe before I go to the current state, I think I should first explain in an understandable way what domestic violence is, in a brief way. Maybe I should call it any abusive behavior within a family. Because most of the times when we bring these European descriptions of domestic violence, I think people do not understand it. That's why maybe it has persisted.
Okay.
But I think we should describe it in our layman's way of understanding. We say maybe any abusive way within families is termed as domestic violence.
Okay.
And
so even the exchange of words.
Yes, even exchange of words within families.
Okay.
Because there are so many things that exchange of words can bring. It can even cause divorce. That exchange of words. So anything that is abusive in nature within those families, I call it domestic violence. And these days, like they've said, the rating, I may not have the rating, but it has gone to nearly every character within a family. It has gone to women, it has gone to men, it has gone to children. To the extent that some of the men have been so much squeezed on the wall that now they have started coming up even to report. Because sometimes they have suffered victims. You find they do not come to report, and at the end of the day, they suffer victims to that incident. So they are ending up coming to report nowadays. You find a man calling you, Afande, I'm here, my woman beats me every day. You find the man is admitting the woman is over-battering him every day, but he has nowhere to report. You know, women make a lot of noise. They come faster to cry to police. But at least our family and child protection unit has learned to handle cases accordingly. If a man comes to report, they have also learned that men are being submerged down there. Maybe what hasn't come up are these NGOs which usually help women. NGOs over-concentrate on women. I have not seen an NGO which is coming up to help men who are suffering of domestic violence. It is very rare. They concentrate on both women and children. It is very rare. So since we are on TV, I also urge those people, the NGO people, to also come up and look for those men who are suffering under. Because we have even got incidences where women nowadays are marrying men. You find a woman is marrying a man and is beating him every day because he's not providing food, he's not providing a car. Last time I saw one of the celebrities making one man apologize. So you see some men are suffering there indirectly when you're not aware. So we are receiving a lot of these things. And some of the causes of domestic violence, I do not mainly attribute them to the current situations. Some of the causes may be the previous situations. Like, let me call it like, there's an example of like trauma. If a child grows up in a family where the father is always beating up a mother, that child's brain will always tell him that when you grow up, when you're a man, you must always beat up your wife. So at the end of the day, you find the cause has not been immediate, but the cause is the previous action that was taken by a father when he was still young. So you find such causes are not the immediate ones, but also we have, but my majority are immediate causes. You find either like poverty can bring up that kind of domestic violence. Others are eating meat, like today is a public holiday. Someone is going to see people enjoying pilau, and if you have not bought pilau at home, you end up causing that domestic violence at home. Then some children are going to school, you are remaining home. That one also, that kind of poverty. They may not be remaining home out of your own wish. Find they are remaining home because you don't have the money. So, and sometimes even poverty. You see, issues of money you cannot calculate. I may marry when I have the money. In the middle, the money goes away. But some of our women do not understand. So what she wants is to remain in that situation. So at the end of the day, domestic violence comes in, quarreling comes in, beatings come in, that psychological torture comes in because you are poor. So you end up into that kind of violence.
Wow, very interesting. And you have talked about it very well. The issue of money in families, money in homes. Why wouldn't a partner understand the other partner that at this moment there is no money in the home, but they continuously persist? I remember during Christmas season we were talking about partners who ask for things. This Christmas I want this, and this I want this, but if you do not provide, it is going to be quarreling, and in the end, after quarreling, there will be fights and all that. Why is it so hard for some people to understand their partners that at this moment there is no money?
Now, I think sometimes I attribute it to, okay, first of all, we have different characters in this world, and we have different missions. There are some people whose intention is to get married and be contented within marriage. Find they want permanent marriage, they don't want to get out of marriage, irrespective of what. Some people's target is either to get children and go away. Other people's target is to get money from. So most of the times, and also the nature of grooming, the way you bring up your person, also matters a lot. When I meet you the first time, I need to set up standards that I want you to be on. So the first time, if I show you that I have the money, I will be giving you the money, I will do this, and I make you get used to that kind of life. That problem, after we have separated, I don't attribute it to the wife who has gone. I attribute it to myself, because I did it first time and I showed her that my love is all about money. So that one really, I don't attribute it to the wife who has gone. But the way I groom you first time, I must show you that money is not the only thing that makes up marriage. So that even if we have nothing, we can remain together, other than showing you about money. But still, the character of the woman is always seen, especially when you are poor. One time I had one of the footballers, Pogba, saying that if you want to know the real friendship, you become poor. He was crying that he has, I think he was saying that he has lacked a good friend because of the money he has. Money, I think, has made him. So you can't know reality when you are rich. The moment you become poor, that's when you know reality. So you'll get to know whether that one is a marriable material when you lack that money. That's when you know who your wife is. Yes.
Very interesting. And looking at the issues happening, men are also being violated in their homes, even, okay, not only their homes, because right now some of them are being married. So have men come out to report? I feel a man is still sidelined a little bit, knowing that I am a man, I cannot report. That kind of stigma. Don't you think men are out there dying slowly in their hearts because of such?
True, I think majority, 90% are out there suffering. But the 10% has started coming out to say that enough is enough. And the 10% are those ones who have experienced some either torture from the wife or that psychological, the psychological torture. The wife has brought her to police. When the wife was in a mistake, but after reaching police, he's either arrested.
That's when he speaks
but out of the mistake of the wife. So you find he suffered at one time out of the mistake of the wife, and this time around he says, let me come out first, and I also report what this wife is doing. So that is the, according to my understanding, that is the 10% that usually comes up to report. But these ones who have never gone to police, the wife has never taken her to police, most of them suffer silently there. They do not want to come out because of that shame. And you find some of the men do not want their children to. That's why most of the times wives rush to police. But men do not want their children to know the conflicts that they have in the families. Most of the times. That's why they do not want to put issues
out
into the limelight. They want to suffer silently there. And and still, naturally, I think according to the Bible, men were created to be stronger than women. So still you remain with that kind of strength. You say, let me suffer silently, but I remain with that kind of strength. As a man, I do not want to come out. So they continue implementing what the Bible says. As they also get to the suffering there.
Okay. So how is this going to be sorted? Because, by the way, when at these different police stations, do we have people who are supposed to handle such cases at different levels? Maybe you have that one for a child, this one for women, or this one for men, or it is one person supposed to handle all different categories?
Now, according to our police setting, we have a unit which they call Child and Family Protection Unit. Because a family, that unit called a family, involves a father, a mother, and a child. So that's why we call it, that's why we also maintain it as one. We shall not look for, because sometimes you find one person is the one bringing problems in all of them. So you cannot look for someone to hand a child, then you look for someone to hand a mother, then this one to look. So we call it Family and Child Protection Unit, so that you find it under one umbrella. When you are handling one person, unless we have many different police officers, you may not be comfortable with me when you find me in the office and you say I need a female police officer to handle me. So we are always also free to give you what we wish. These days we don't overharden. When you are not comfortable with a police officer, you can say I'm comfortable with a female police officer to handle me. Even if it is public, you say I'm comfortable to speak all my things in a private room. If he's an understanding police officer, he will take you to a private room and listen to you. Because there are some people who are not willing to speak their things in public. Yes, that's so me I usually do it. Someone comes, not specific on issues of family. You find even he has issues of debts, but he doesn't want anyone who is there to know. At one time he had money, and now money has gone. They are chasing him out of the house. He's having issues of the landlord, and he says, "Afande, may I get a private room where I can talk to you?" So you provide him that private room, and he talks to you. So then after telling you, that's when you can engage. But it is one unit which handles. Yes, and they will sit in one office, and sometimes you find one police officer who is the OC, and he is there in charge everything. So you must handle. Unless if he handles you badly, we have different categories of administration. When you go to the OC Child and Family Protection Unit in that station, and he doesn't handle you well, you find there is a division or a district, there is a region. So you go on until you get the justice that you want.
Okay.
Yes.
And then, so what solutions do we have? And looking back in the years, I understand there were very many cases, and I also understand that they are drastically reducing somehow, somewhere. What more should be done to make sure that our homes are very safe out there, free from violence?
The first thing I can always advise the couples, the thing that we should always front first in families should be God.
God.
With God, all things are possible.
Possible, yes. Wow.
Some of the families have neglected the prayer, and at the end of the day, this is what comes. I know some people do not believe that God is there, but what I know is that at least let's always put prayer first, and other things will come. Other than God, let's do things. We should understand one another. Like the way most of us go to different churches on our weddings, and they say, for good, for worse.
For us, yeah.
Let's always run to understand each other in times of good and in times of worse situations. But some of us forget when you are in good times and accidentally you get the worst situation. You end up forgetting the good times that you were in before. So that one starts causing up that kind of domestic violence. Then still, when you understand one another, you can always advise one another. After understanding each other, you find this one has made a mistake, call the person on board, advise the person. Then you can use the different tactics, but still also from the beginning show your partner what you want, and the principles you believe in, and let your partner understand you. So at the end of the day, your partner says, I know my husband does this and this. I know when my husband is angry, he's like this and this. So when my wife is angry, it's like this and this. So you find you're understanding each other. I know anger, in every family there must be anger, in every family there are problems. And for the issues of money, by the way, most of the times when you move around Kampala, you move like in Korora areas, you'll find that those fences you are seeing and those good houses, the problems which are there, if they give them to you, can't carry them even for an hour. You find there are so many problems in those fences you are seeing. But when you go to a village like mine in Rwampara, you find the people are living happily. They just get a bunch of matoke and some beans, and they are living happily the whole night. As long as the husband goes in the evening, gets a glass of waraji and goes back, that is the life. And the child tomorrow wakes up, goes to a government school and studies and comes back. That's the best life.
Wow.
But here in Kampala, without money,
there
are very few people who are willing to remain in marriage minus money. Someone goes, you find every weekend, person wants an outing. Every birthday, you must make that high-end birthday.
Even gifts.
Yes, you must bring gifts of cars. You have seen people bring gifts of cars. So you'll meet a police officer like me who cannot afford a gift of a car, who has never even driven a car, and you want a gift of the car. So that is the end of the marriage. It may not. Then also I advise men, biblically, men should not be married. Men are the ones to marry.
Okay.
So these days men are starting to get married. I don't know where that culture is coming in, why it is the Gen Z style which is coming in. But the current generation, I still advise you, please, let's follow the Bible. You be the one to marry. Don't allow a woman to marry you. So those are some of the things. Because the woman has money, he squeezes you up to the maximum. That's when we shall reduce this kind of violence. Of the men. Yeah, but for the women, I think men also must understand. And we are trying to do sensitization meetings most of the times. Most of the meetings we always have, we move with the Child and Family Protection Unit and we do sensitize those people. If you get this challenge, please handle it like this. If you are there and you are submerged, come and report to police. Even when they reach at police, the family unit tries to sit them down and advise them. Because sometimes you find things which are weird. Someone is getting married next week and they are separating today.
Wow.
Find their wedding. I've seen incidences where someone has a wedding on a Saturday, but they are busy quarreling in the office of the police. And you think that marriage even after wedding is going to survive?
No way.
That one we just take a second and it goes away. There are some marriages where these ones will take seconds and they move away.
Done.
And you find someone is not willing to apologize to any other person. Whether wife, whether man, no one is willing to apologize. So at the end of the day, all of you must be stronger. And the one who becomes the more stronger is the one who will win the game.
Oh, quite interesting about domestic violence happening in our homes there. And I believe you've gotten the solutions. The basic one is having God between the two of you and your family there. If it is a household, all of you must be knowing God. But also, Fande has given us a very good one, understanding yourselves. That is quite interesting. So when we return, we shall be talking about mob justice, and also a few minutes as we conclude, we shall be talking about how the celebrations are for today. I understand prayers are already going on in different mosques, but let's take a short break and return with more of this discussion.
If you suspect any suspicious thing, report to the police.
Of course, there will always be penalties for non-compliance.
So it's more of a ministry.
It is the duty of police to keep law and order.
Issues at hand.
If you suspect any suspicious thing, report to the police.
Of course, there will always be penalties for non-compliance.
So it's more of a ministry.
It is the duty of police to keep law and order.
Issues at hand.
Oh yes, welcome back. You are watching Issues at Hand here on Church of Uganda Family TV, and today we are having Assistant Superintendent of Police at Archilles Atwebembere, who is the CLO, Community Liaison Officer for Chira Police Division, and he has been taking us through. First, we started with domestic violence, and I believe you managed to grasp what it is and also how it can be prevented. The nitty-gritties in there was knowing God and understanding yourselves as family members. So now we're going to be talking about mob justice, and of course I understand it happens here and there, but it has a little bit decreased. I understand that very well. So Afande, first and foremost, what is mob justice for someone out there we have to synchronize the English.
It's always good to bring it closer so that someone can understand it.
Yes.
Because in the English version, they usually call it an extrajudicial punishment that is always given to someone by a mob who is accused of committing a certain crime. When I put it in Uganda, the Uganda usually call it kotia or court jebatuza. There is that court they usually call. So, but this is the mob justice is just punishing someone because I want to bring it to the close person down there. Punishing someone without going through the rightful procedures of punishing him, I may call it, where you gather yourselves in a group of more than one or two. You punish a person whom you suspect to have committed a crime, because by that time you are not sure that he has committed a crime.
A suspect.
And you start punishing him minus going through the right procedures of punishing the person. That's what we call mob justice in layman's language.
Okay.
And it's not acceptable in the laws of Uganda. Maybe I may begin by saying I have seen the worst part of mob justice. I've seen some incidences where the rightful people have been killed innocently by instead the wrong people through mob justice.
Wow. We
had an incident one time some years back in an area where I was working in. Thieves of the motorcycle stole a motorcycle of an innocent boy. As he was chasing them, these ones made more noise than him saying he's the thief who wants to steal their motorcycle. So they people ended up lynching this real motorcycle owner, and they left the other ones who were thieves. This is a real story. As the boy was crying that these people are deceiving you. Remember, in mob justice, no one is listening.
Yeah, everyone is
the one of a stone is bringing, the one of a slap is bringing, the one of petrol is going to buy, the one of a jerrycan is. So that's what usually happens in mob justice. And they ended up killing an innocent boy who was the owner of the motorcycle. And thieves were busy cheering these ones who were killing, saying they wanted to steal him. So those are some of the side effects of mob justice, which I've seen. But I've started from the top. I should have started with the causes.
Exactly.
Now,
why do people take the law into their hands?
Some of the reasons why people usually take the law in their hands. The first reason is, I think, lack of trust in the judicial justice system, where someone thinks that so long as you take your person who is a thief to police, to court, he will not get the justice that he wants. When people start losing trust into the justice system, that's when you see them trying to create their own courts down there now. Find someone is creating his own court, instead of taking it to police, let's work on him from here, so that we get our own justice. So that's those are some of the reasons why people do that nature of mob justice. Another reason why people usually do that kind of mob justice is ignorance. Some people are not aware. Some people are not aware that doing mob justice is an offense. For them, they think it's okay. So long as you get a thief, you do mob justice and it ends there.
There is a time I was somewhere also in my village, and people were like, let's deal with him before the police comes.
Yes, so some people are not aware that it's an offense. Some people think, even others take it for fun. So that kind of ignorance needs us to, I think, educate them more about how things are done, the systems they should go through. They even don't know systems that they should be going through. So long as you get a thief, and even they are not aware that they have rights as citizens to arrest and take to police. The constitution gives powers to every citizen of Uganda to arrest and take to police.
Okay.
But people are not aware that even they have those rights, which we must teach them sometimes. Then another thing is maybe if there is corruption, suspicion of corruption anywhere. If there is anything like suspicion of corruption anywhere, people usually take the law in their hands. By these days, the way you've said, mob justice has reduced nowadays. So I think even the suspicion of corruption levels are reducing. Maybe the cases are running the way they are supposed to be running. So that's why the mob justice is reducing nowadays.
Okay.
Then other things that create mob justice is maybe that kind of, should I call it peer pressure? You have found others beating,
And then you just
want to join, even don't know the reason why you are beating sometimes. At one time you are going to beat your own son when you are not aware, because you find you are passing and you are just beating. Recently there is an incident, these border people, most of the times when you are in a car and you happen to knock any border person, all of them usually stop. So I was moving like 1 week back, it was around the 11 coming from, it was Charwajara, Chireka.
Okay.
So I found they had reached 6 borders. There was a certain Harrier vehicle which was parked around 6 borders. I was in uniform, so I had to stop the car and I went to see what had happened. So they had knocked the border and his leg had been shattered. Because I got to know this. The next step is either burning the car or hitting the gentleman. But sorry for the border whose leg was shattered. But fortunately, there were other borders who were seeing when that mistake happened. Sometimes these borders do not want to understand that they are in a mistake. But I think for the first time, I found other borders blaming this one, whose leg was even shattered. But they were blaming him. They said, we told them go about the mistake.
Wow.
So for the first time, they even assured me, this time around, we are not doing anything. Let him apologize to the man, and the man can maybe, according to his heart, take him to the hospital. So sometimes that kind of understanding, when it comes into us, and this one is that's why I think mob justice is also reducing. And these days, even our cameras have helped us to reduce that kind of mob justice. Previously, people are using it as an advantage because you are not the thieves who shouted. If we had quickly used the cameras, or if by that time cameras were there, would have known that these are the real owners. This one is a real owner, and the other ones are thieves. So these days, border people, whenever they cause an accident, we even go to a camera room and we say who was in a mistake, who was not in a mistake. At the end of the day, you find the border person who is trying to bring mob justice is the one who was in a mistake. Okay. So these days, at least, there is a way it has reduced. They no longer quickly put a blame to others.
Okay. So what legal consequences are there when someone is found practicing mob justice?
Now there are different offenses that we charge you when you are practicing mob justice. If the person has been, because most of the times we charge according to the results of the victim.
Okay.
That if the person you have been beating goes to a medical clinic and they describe that the injuries he has got are amounting to this level, that's the nature of punishment we give you. If it is assault, we charge you of assault. If it is grievous harm, we charge you of grievous harm. If it has been death, we charge you of murder.
Okay. So some people who could put down property, burn the vehicle, or put down matoke for people.
They will charge you of malicious damage if you have burnt someone's car. Sometimes even arson. Then if you have cut someone's matoke, still they will charge you of malicious damage. So the results of the nature of the mob justice, that is the offense they are going to charge you.
Okay.
So they will look for the final result. If you have killed the person out of mob justice, murder.
By the way, now in such instance, because there are always very many people, do you arrest everyone on scene, or you get the person who started it? Because they can start it and they don't kill, other people kill.
Most of the times, do you know that we have many thieves in Uganda?
Yeah.
Are all thieves arrested?
No.
So it is according to your chance or your lack of luck. So when you are unlucky that the police has seen you or they have mentioned your name in that nature of mob justice, then we must pull you out.
Wow.
But some people are lucky that the police may not see them or someone may not pin him anywhere. So if you know you are always unlucky, please don't always be near such things. Just you go away. But still, I don't encourage anyone to always be near anything called mob justice.
Okay.
When you are near, you go when you are going to rescue. unfortunately, some people who go to rescue also and they are got into. But in mob justice, you may not know who is going to rescue, who is beating, who is doing this. You find the cover is too much most of the times. That's why we always encourage people, when you see any kind of mob justice, call the police to come quicker and rescue the person. If you think you can manage to rescue, you do it. Still, you will have protected life and property. The things we are doing as police, we do them with civilians, of course. We don't. If you think you can educate the public when they are doing mob justice and they quickly leave the person, because there are some people with who command some power in those villages. Find you can see one chairman can command power. If he comes around, he says, you people, you stop. And they stop. And I always also encourage our police officers who investigate such cases. Such a nature of a person who has come to stop the offense. Please, you understand, you get to know. You dig deep and you say what was the role, which role did he play in this mob justice. Did he beat? Did he bring petrol? Did he advise them to stop? So that we don't discourage people from helping some of our people.
Yes, true. Okay. Now, as we head to the public holiday today, maybe one message you could give to the people outside there, so that they can be aware of what mob justice can bring to them if they happen to practice it.
First of all, like the way I said is that mob justice, you end up killing an innocent person, which is not good. This may be your brother, your father, your mother, anyone. You end up killing an innocent person, which is not. You can imagine a situation where you are the one being beaten. You can imagine you are down. In your mind, what is always there? You are being beaten innocently, and someone is taking your motorcycle. Being beaten on your own motorcycle. You are dying silently there. Everyone is beating you, saying you are a thief, but on your own motorcycle. You can always imagine that situation when you are going to do mob justice. What if you are the one? And anyone is a candidate. What I've seen sometimes, there is a situation where I was seeing everyone was a candidate. You've knocked a board, everyone is so let's always desist from that nature of mob justice. Then another thing, it is always bad to find you are serving a punishment of life imprisonment because you did mob justice. Even with some of the things that do not concern you, by the way. You are walking on the way because you find someone and they are saying you are not even sure. Most of the times we are not sure. This mob justice, when you go to get all the people who are there, you find the people who are sure like two. Others are not even sure why they are beating. So at the end of the day, you are in serving a punishment on where you are not sure of what you are doing. Who you were beating, what the person you were beating, what he had done, at what time he did it. For you are just beating. And at the end of the day, you serve the punishment for nothing. So let's desist from serving those punishments for nothing. Let's leave mob justice. Let's let systems run the way they are supposed to run. And these days, even if you think you will not get justice at a certain police station, there are those systems you can follow to get justice. If you go to Chira Police Division, you don't get justice. Chira Police Division has a region where you can go and meet the RPC and you tell him I did not get justice from God. They even have a unit called a department called the Professional Standards Unit, where you can go and say I did not get justice. They call for your file, they look into it, and they give you the justice you want. Why would you go to take the law into your hands? So at the end of the day, you will end up, and your children will remain when they are not going to school because you are taking the law into your hands.
Wow, great message there. Thank you, Afande. Now, today is a public holiday. What is expected out of the celebrations from our Muslim brothers, but also the safety overall? No, the excitement can get too high in some scenarios.
First of all, I want to congratulate all the Muslim community for having reached this public holiday. I have not received anyone who is calling me for Perao. There is one person who called me for Perao. Others have not called me for Perao.
Maybe you didn't call
I don't know, because they saw me in Namugongo. They said this man is a staunch Catholic. Now we cannot call him. But still, for us, we serve everyone. So people should call me for Perao.
Okay.
Now, most of the times in these public holidays, there is too much excitement. Sometimes I thought at one time when I was still young, I thought during such days, like bars can cross, these are things, because our Muslim community members, majority, I think 99% do not go into such areas.
Yeah.
So me at one time, but I think other religions have used it as an advantage to also celebrate, because these are the only days they get. So
off.
in the celebrations are not only for Muslims, you find the celebrations are for everyone. For Catholics, for Anglicans, for born agains, even Muslims themselves. So in that kind of excitement, we usually do a lot of things which cause us issues. Now you'll find some people have drunk themselves to the maximum, and you find someone is getting a car driving. So you find accidents are increasing. Because I told you this is the day when domestic violence is going to increase, because you have not got pirao for your wife. And even to the Muslim community, you find you have 4 wives. The youngest target has got more pirao than the one in the middle has got 1 sack of rice, then this one. So sometimes the balancing also becomes a problem. That's what causes domestic violence in these days. Then another thing is thefts are going to increase. With that kind of excitement, last time there are those security tips I usually give, like the way people lock their doors, the security lights, putting up those cameras, and these other things. When there is this kind of excitement, you find people even do not remember such things. People even do not remember to put security lights. Someone has gone in the morning, comes back at 2 when there is no security light at home. All the ones who have remained at home, doors have remained open. Or you have not
waiting for someone.
Yes, or you've not closed the door. So this is the day when everything is supposed to be done in a clear way. Let's not be so much excited with the public holiday. Let's protect our things. Then still carrying variables. You find someone is carrying over 30 million that is going to splash. There is this kind of splashing. You are going to splash to the same people who are going to kill you at the end of the day. You will be splashing as they are planning for you. They will even, the ones who are planning will even be more excited than these other ones as you are splashing, and they stay encouraging you to do your things. So let's run on issues of how to carry money, how to carry our variables. Let's be suspicious of different strangers. You meet a stranger, you are going to Mbarara for a holiday, you say, let me board into your car. The moment you take someone who is a epileptic in that car, that's when you will get to a level of not carrying strangers again. You reach Ruka and someone gets epilepsy and starts collapsing in your car, you say, I will never carry another person again in my car. So let's always avoid strangers. I don't discourage people from helping, but also I don't encourage people from carrying people they do not know. Otherwise you'll meet up thieves and they do for. Then we have thieves who are always on the highways, that someone deceives you, find your tire. By the time you go to get out, it says your tire or your car has a mechanical condition, you stop to look around, this one has already opened the door and pulled the laptop. So we have so many kinds of thefts in this period. Let's always try to avoid and learn how those people usually steal us. Even conmen, they usually use online. Someone sends a message of mobile money, a live message of mobile money, and he says you have received this and this, puts like 1 million and quickly calls you. I've sent money on this line and this 1 million, please forward me only 500,000 and you take the rest. Kumbe the message he has sent are these usual messages we usually have. So you quickly, because of the excitement, you quickly say, this is the 400 I've just got within a second, let me forward him the 500 when the message was fake. So these are the days when they can steal us in any way. So let's always learn how to avoid such incidences.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow, very interesting. Now, find our time is past spent. I believe you can give us a last message as we wind up this discussion, but also can give a message to your Muslim brothers and sisters so they can invite you maybe.
But I think I'm seeing some WhatsApp messages on my phone. I think maybe some of them have started inviting me. I will not open when I'm on air because I will get disappointed. So I will open when I've gone away from air. But to the Muslim community, especially our Muslim community of Chira, those people are very cooperative. I want to I want to thank them so much for whatever they always do for us and wish them nice celebrations. Then for the people out there, especially still our division of Chira, I want to encourage us to always work together. You see, the way there is that slogan where they say yamba polisi ne polisi ekuyambe. So let's always try to help the police so that the police can also help us. It may not be necessary in terms of materialism or anything else, but in terms of knowledge, in terms of intelligence information, then in terms of sensitizations, you can always try to be near the police. Because if we had known the public, I don't think we could work very well as police. The public helps us too much by providing us mainly with information. It is the public which tells you, there is a problem, there is this, there is this, there is this. Then as I also end, I want people to always run to report cases to police. One time I gave an incident, and I always give that incident. A person lost his number plate here in Kampala. Tomorrow in the afternoon, the number plate was found in a car which was involved in aggravated robbery. If he had not reported, that person was, I think, would still be in Luzera, prison for aggravated robbery. So please, let's run to report cases. It doesn't take away anything. These things of saying, last time I reported to police and police never helped me. For you just go and report. You report, at one time it will help you. The police may not help, but that reporting may help you. So you shouldn't go by saying, okay, the police did not help me, I will not report. Let the reporting help you. Not if you think the police may not help. So let's run to report cases. Still it helps us in our books. When we know that this person has reported a case, it helps us. Otherwise, I wish, even my wife has a birthday today. I wish her a happy birthday on air. Then I also want to wish my family well, and I send greetings to our Inspector General of Police. I send to our Director CPC, Director Operations, KMP Commander, KMP CRO, and all my bosses, including my DPC Chira Division. I shouldn't be chased away from the division by not sending greetings to my boss. So I send also to my DPC Chira Division. Thank you so much, the listeners. I wish you a nice public holiday.
Wow. Thank you so much. ASP Atwebembere Archilles, he is the Community Liaison Officer for Chira Police Division, and we appreciate the messages that you have really given us in regards to the different topics, that's domestic violence and also mob justice, but also a clear message to our Muslim brothers out there. We cannot go past this. I hope you've picked something very important out of today's discussion. I just want to wish you a lovely weekend ahead, but also a lovely celebration to our Muslim brothers. Please have a wonderful time out there, but remember to be safe in whatever you are doing.
If you suspect any suspicious things, report to the police.
Of course, there will always be penalties